Evolutions is a brand new system in EFC 24. The whole idea behind it is giving you a chance to level up cards that potentially might be below the power curve by completing objectives and challenges that EA drop weekly, allowing you to increase their overalls, their weak foots, even the cosmetic style of the card. And the aim of this video is to help you guys to decide which cards to pick for your evolutions. So let's get straight into it. So a little bit of information about evolutions itself before we take a look at some players that we can use. According to the recently dropped pitch notes on EAFC 24 website, there's going to be a total of 12 evolutions available across the first season, which basically means we've got a 12-week season, so one evolution a week. Different evolutions will be gameplay, utility, or cosmetic. So I'm assuming gameplay is where the most popularity is going to be. That essentially allows us to level up the flat overall rating, so going from like a 77 to an 80. I believe in-game attributes as well will be boosted alongside that. Utility is more of positions, work rates, etc., which could be handy. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but if you're able to move like a centre mid to like a right winger and potentially level him up that way, that would be great. And then we've got cosmetic, which could be nice, especially for the Panini side of the game. You want to collect the coolest looking cards. Cosmetic could be a cool addition. So the theory sounds amazing and super exciting. A bit of change in Ultimate Team is what we needed. Something a bit fresh, and I am definitely hopeful for this. Now looking on Twitter, one of these, I'm not sure if it's been leaked or if it's been taken from like the EA Ultimate Team deep dive, but certain objectives will have requirements to certain level caps. For example, max 78 shooting, 81 pace overall, and a weak foot, which I think is a good idea in theory. If you're picking cards that are super high rated already, like imagine getting Mbappe, completing his objectives and just getting him super cracked. It'll be crazy for the power curve. So EA are targeting the lower rated cards, which I think is great. And it gives us a bit of fun, man. You could pick your favorite silver card, for example. He might fit in this category and level him all the way up. Now, full disclaimer, I don't know if this is going to be the first evolution, but we're just basically following this kind of pattern. It's going to be something similar along these lines, I'm sure. So player number one that instantly came to mind for myself, being an Arsenal fan, Aguna Smith Rowe. My man, he's had some decent promo cards, like last year's Rule Breakers was great when that came out, but 78 rated, not really getting a lot of love actually on the moment on the pitch for Arsenal. But if I can level him up and evolutionize, is that the right word? I don't know. Smith Rowe to a super usable crack card, that would be fantastic. Now, foot.gg, a website I loved last year, they're so good just for squad building, checking out new cards. Definitely would recommend, I'll leave the link down below, have a new filter here called Evolutions. Essentially, this is really cool, by the way. They've predicted the evolutions for every single tier. Now, in regards to the actual levels, I'm not 100% sure how it works as of yet, but I'm assuming you're able to pick the same evolutionized card. That word does not sound right, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to embrace it for each objective. So, for example, an objective comes out this week, could be something like playing 8 games with this player, scoring a certain amount of goals. As long as he fits the criteria, you can use him for this evolution. And then next week, for example, we might get an objective that allows you to get 15 assists with the player in squad battles or FUT champions. Just an example, by the way, I'm not sure if that is exactly how it's going to work. And as long as he fits the criteria, we can level him up again. And the card designs are really cool here. I do love this level 3. It is so sick. And with that, basically, you get weak foot boosts, skill move boosts, overall boost. Like this card right here will be fantastic. 5-star, multiple position changes as well. There's so much potential with this promo. And being realistic, I think you should be picking cards that are kind of sentimental to yourself. Maybe a player from your club who you want to see level up a little bit, or a player that you just respect and enjoy watching in the real world, or you could go super meta and super sweaty. I wanted to give an example with a silver card here. This is Abdi, Barcelona's new wonder kid. Looks decent on paper, 4-star, 3-star as a silver, but now evolutions come to play. Now we are talking. You can basically make your favorite silver card usable in game. He can go up to an 82 rated with this level 3 evolution. And the stats though still look really solid. He's got the pace, the shooting, 5-star striker cam. Like if you are picking a silver card, it's probably going to be for more the fun factor. You're not really going to get a super meta high rated card from it. But I do love that you can do this. Starting out at a 73, get him to an 82, that is definitely usable for your squad. Another silver example is Matisse Tal from Bayern Munich. Fantastic youngster in the real world. Even if you wanted to keep him as a silver lounge card, assuming they're doing silver stars next year, one evolution, he stays in that 74 bracket. I am a big fan of this. I'm so excited to see what we're able to cook up and create. And of course, he does fit in the original criteria that we looked at a minute ago. And just so much potential, man. 87 pace, 87 shooting, decent 5-star, like It's looking good. Another nice option would be Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brazilian in the Premier League, a meta chemistry combo. That 85 rated card, 90 pace, 91 shooting, 85 dribbling, 5-star, 5-star. It's basically game breaking. I don't know how long it's going to take you to get a level 3 evolution, but these are the kind of cards that I'll be targeting. Players with decent weak foot and skill moves already, good leagues, good chemistry, and of course need to fit the criteria. Now, one for the United fans, and I'm hoping this man eventually will be able to be part of the evolution trade, is Alejandro Garnacho. This card on the end with 96 pace, 81 shooting, 5-star, 5-star is honestly ridiculous. Even though it's an 84 rated, still super usable. And fingers crossed they drop an evolution objective where this man fits the criteria and you're able to start leveling him up. By the way, just looking at the actual pitch notes, like the card designs and the whole thing based around this, they've put a lot of effort into this. Centurions, I believe it's going to be linked to promos and campaigns as well. So there is so much going on with this evolutions, and I'm so ready for it. Now, a player that could be fantastic is Amin Adli. He was one of my favourite silver cards at the start of last year. He's now a 77 rated gold, and probably I'm not going to end up using him. But with evolutions, the potential is there again. He does fit the criteria that it was on this tweet. So maybe he's going to be available in the first one. And I think if he is, if this is actually the first objective evolutions, I might be picking this boy. More players that could be crazy cracked at the start of this evolutions is Renato Sanchez. Like, look at the state of the card on the end here. That's an 86 rated with phenomenal stats. If he was on the market, it would be absolutely crazy. One thing I didn't mention, once you do actually evolutionize a player, we're still rocking that word, we're sticking with it, he becomes untradeable. So if you buy him on the market and start evolutionizing it, it doesn't sound right, does it? But I'm going to embrace it. He becomes untradeable, so you can't end up reselling him again. But Renato Sanchez looks crazy. And we all know how premium and expensive he is on the market. So if you do pick a player like Sanchez, you're definitely going to be doing it right. Talking about silvers that you could look to upgrade, Silas. My man, Silas. Not a crazy cracked card, but I think the more fun factor here is definitely going to win. Like, for me personally, I'm probably going to be picking cards that I would have more fun using, that maybe won't get promo cards or are low rated, like Adli, for example, over super meta cards like Sanchez. I say that now, when I'm sweating out FUT Champions, I'm going to want that Renato Sanchez. But Silas is a nice little card here. Of course, the little upgrades could be decent early game. Like, he could basically become a cheap, well, technically he will be cheap because he's going to be untradeable at this stage. Cheap alternative options to some crazy cards like Diaby maybe from for Aston Villa. Pacey, great dribbling, decent. Now, face stats aren't typically everything when picking an evolution. You need to make sure that you're picking a card that you like in-game. So I'm talking body type, I'm talking play styles. All the nitty-gritty finer details could be super important when selecting a card. For example, there were certain cards in the game last year that no matter what their stats were, even how cracked they looked on paper, I just didn't get on with the card in game. That could be down to body type, work rates, etc. So make sure to trial the card before you actually pick them for an evolution. If you are going for a silver, like Silas for example, make sure to pick him up, give him a couple of games, make sure he feels good in game and that you want this card to be upgraded. So actually looking at the Ultimate Team Deep Dive, which is available on YouTube, you get a kind of example of challenges. So I'm assuming the higher the level upgrade you want or evolution you want, the more difficult the challenges are going to be. So play 3 matches in squad battles here, super easy to do, and then score 1 goal in squad battles. You could do that as quick as it takes. And I've seen we've got here evolution foundation, dribbling evolutions. So there's going to be a whole lot into this that we have still yet to really unearth, which is super exciting, and I'm so ready for that. I think most importantly here, evolutions give you a chance to be unique and stand out yourself. You can pick a player that nobody else has in the whole game. You could be as random as you like him in a way, no matter how bad they are on paper, and just level them up with the evolutions and be unique. Have a one-of-one card. So I hope you enjoyed this little deep dive on evolution. Let me know down below a player that you want to use for evolution. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys later.